Good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening, or good night. This is Jen at Jen's Arty Inclinations, a place to create, share and play. Today I'm doing Junk Journal Inspirations Simply Random Challenge, week 3. So this is Emily's prompts this week: collaged, your favourite thing, beads, monochrome, wrapping paper, magazine. So tissue paper is wrapping paper. I'm using some magazine strips. There are my beads. And then I've got lots and lots of blue. I'm using blue as my monochrome colour, monochrome in blue. Butterflies and blue and beads, they're all my favourite things. Some of those little papers are little wrapping papers as well. Anyway, I'm going to have a go at doing some more paper clips. I've been into paper clips lately. All right, to start off with, I decided that it would be kind of cool to have a bit of a page topper or a tab edge that actually had a bead wired onto a paper clip. Never done it before, wasn't sure if it would work, knew that I'd need a lot of glue to make it go on, and I thought it was okay that the bead was bumpy. I have a ton of beads, so if this works, it'll be cool because I'll have some more to do. This first one, I actually wired it through the paper clip and then I twisted it to secure the bead. That was definitely a better way to do it. You'll see when I do my second one later, I found a far more complicated way to do that, which really was not as effective. Anyway, what I thought was that I would put that onto a bit of a collaged cluster, and that's what I'm looking at. That's such a cute embossed paper. It's got little silver embossing. So that's a little label that I had with a blue edge. And then I thought I'll just cut down the paper that's behind it, obviously, because I just didn't want it that big, and I know that I'll still use those strips in other pieces. I decided I'd do a little straight edge so that it was almost like a bit of a flag, and then that bead is a little bit of a embellishment, like a little bit of a punctuation on the side of a little label. So I have this circle punch that I punched out of a pattern in a book, and then that little bird, I fussy cut that out of a kid's book. These are just some things I've had in my supplies. So then once I stuck it down, you can obviously see how this one comes together a little bit more. So I changed my mind on where I decided the bird would sit once I looked at it from a distance, which can often happen. And I think that's a nice thing as we're crafting. We can change our minds as we go through. Then I put masses and masses and masses of glue on the back of that bead to make sure that it was going to sit on the piece. So I'm using 540 glue to stick it down because that's supposed to be able to stick any kind of surface. Once I positioned it, I then held it for a few moments and then I clipped it and popped it aside just to make sure that that hold really held nice and firm. So next, I decided to try some seed beads, just threading them onto the paper clips. I love the blue of these beads. They're little wooden ones. Got them off eBay, but I love that aqua blue colour that they are. They're just gorgeous. Anyway, I threaded them around, and actually when you have a look, this would be nice just on its own, sitting like that, wouldn't it? Then you'd have an instant little paperclip embellishment. And that little circle on the edge of the paperclip, oh, there I'm cutting off a piece of magazine, that is something I just did with pliers. Now this is what I'm calling my wrapping paper because I forgot to use my tissue. So I reckon I can get away with this. What do you think? I don't know. It's cheating, isn't it? But anyway, I would use that to wrap things. I would if I had something small enough. But anyway, yes, I still think it's sort of in line with the challenge and it still gave me lots of ideas and I still had fun, and that's the most important thing. Anyway, here I am just sticking it down onto the paper clip, making sure it's got a nice little secure hold there. Then I'm trying out a few things, working out what would go on it. I really liked this little word, read. Now, it looks black in the film here, but that's actually a navy blue, so it's still within that monochrome tone. I really liked the monochrome in this challenge. I think that idea of the same shades of the one colour is such a nice idea. It's so effective. It kind of doesn't matter what you put together. It tends to just work out, so you also don't have to overthink it. So on this paper clip, I thought it'd be really nice using these little washi stickers that I have. Now, it's quite funny. This took me forever to peel the backing off that particular sticker. So I'm sure you're very, very glad that I cut all that out. It was a terrible one to remove the backing from. And of course, the next one was fine. Now, again, this is another little sticker. I just decided that the white was a bit thick around such a tiny little butterfly, and so I fussy cut it out. Now, I didn't bother cutting the feelers because I have noticed with butterflies that it's actually not always necessary, and it's a bit of a representation. Adding a little dark blue behind the whole piece, it's quite funny calling it a piece, it's such a teeny little thing. Adding that blue on the back, that just gave it a little bit of a border and gave it a bit of a finished look. So there you go. That is the next one. What are we up to? Number 2, I think. So that was the next one that I did. All right, so I wanted to try another one of those topper bead style ones. So that's what I'm doing here. And I thought I'd put a little blue seed bead on either side of that topper bead. This is the one that I got really overly complicated with how I wired that bead onto the paper clips. So I've sped all that up so that you don't have to sit through that agonising process that I decided to make really complicated. Okay, this time I've popped in this wrapping paper behind it, and I'm just doing a few different collage pieces on it. That little bead actually looks like a button. It's so lovely and sweet. I put a lovely round piece, another one of those blue cutout punch pieces behind where I wanted that button to sit. And I'm going to shorten this off so that it really is like a topper on a page or a side tab. I feel like you could use it for that as well. This one, I did add quite a few extra pieces onto this at the end, but I'll do another little one in between. Rather than fussy cut this butterfly, I just inked blue around the edges, and that kept it in that monochrome style of the challenge, which is really great. Couldn't find my corner punch, so I just did a tab top on this particular one. And I think next, oh no, I've still got a bit more gluing. What's that bit? Oh no, now I'm gluing down my actual button. Oh yeah, because I glued the magazine pieces on the top too. You can just see them there. Anyway, this was a little bit more slippery. So again, I just clipped it down to make sure that it stayed. So the next one, I just threaded some more seed beads on. You've seen me do that already. I decided make them a bit uneven, 2 on one side, 3 on the right. There's my little wrapping paper piece. On the left, that really thin strip is my magazine piece. And I'm just doing these over like little banners, little banner headers. I'm sure you've all seen all the different ways to do paper clips. It's just another one of those styles. So gluing that strip down, and I wanted to use a lovely piece of blue ribbon on this that I really don't use often enough. It's got little birdies on it, which is really cute. Another one of my little favourite things, broidies. All right, so there's that magazine strip. I'm popping on the, what do you call that thing? It's a ribbon. I really do find it hard to find my words. Oh dear. Okay, next I'll just glue these pieces down so that I'm kind of gluing them all the way down, but I'm happy to leave a little bit of looseness in the edge to give it a little bit of movement. And then I'm using I worked out a little circle piece behind it, and then the word random. How cool is that? We're doing the Simply Random Challenge, and I'm doing a paperclip that's called Random. And honestly, that would go on any one of my pages because I'm pretty random. Anyway, there I'm just mopping up the excess glue that I left on top of it. Now that this piece is dried, I thought it would be good just to keep that nice and secure to actually sew the paperclip onto the paper. And sewing is really nice on paper. And then I decided that was such a nice thing that I'd continue that around the edge. Just makes this piece a little bit more finished. So it was a little bit hard to get through the different thicknesses of the collaged paper. I'm saying collaged just so that you know that I'm doing that part of the challenge as well. Oh dear, it's so much fun. I'm just getting so many ideas on different little bits and pieces. It makes you try something that you hadn't thought of. It makes you do something a little bit different. They're wonderful, these challenges. So I think I'll keep these up weekly. I'm really enjoying them, and I'm discovering so much. Please go to Junk Journal Inspirations page because she has a playlist with everybody's videos that they've done, and on her Instagram as well. so you can get to see how everybody else has interpreted the challenge. Here I'm adding a piece of card because I really wanted this to be nice and robust to use as a piece in, I'm thinking, my Big Bertha book that I haven't worked in for a little while. So I must get back to doing some pages in there. But anyway, I'm thinking that it would be really, really nice to have as a much more thicker, more secure, robust piece. But yeah, go and check out Emily's page because she's got a playlist and you can see all the other artists and how they've interpreted each of the Simply Random Challenge weeks, and it's just a bit fabulous, really. All right, just snipping the edges, and then that one is pretty much finished. I just decided to ink around the edges just because that covers up a little bit of that imperfection that I have in meeting up the two edges there and trimming it off. Then I am simply sewing on the other bead topper that I did here, and I'm just doing a bit of a slip knot clove hitch there to finish it off, but I am also gluing over another little piece for the backing. That kind of is good because it gives it a little bit of a finish for the back as well. So there they are, my little paper clips with the week 3 Simply Random Challenge. You can like and subscribe below, and as always, keep creating. See you next time. Bye.